Hello, Ralph. How are you today? How's the Melbourne weather?
It's raining here. Hi, Angela. Nice to be here. Thank you for making this possible. And it's raining a bit, and I think we're expecting lots of rain in the next few days. So
Yeah, it just started raining here. Although we did have a sunny day, so I thought it might be sunny there today because we send you our weather. But
yeah, no, not so far.
Well, enough about the weather. Let's talk about why we're here, and that is about your fabulous presentation for the Humanise Yourself Festival.
Yes.
Move your mood. And I took a sneak peek last night while I was cooking, and I love it. It is, everyone should watch this presentation.
Yes, yeah, that's good. Yeah, so I recorded that, and I think we'll play the recording because I like how it turned out. So
yeah, it's really good, really informative about how movement can help you shift your mood. I mean, I believe most people are coming to that idea now that how movement can affect our mood, but still not enough.
And how your mood can affect your movement and posture and so on as well. There's a two-way thing going on. So I wanted to tell a story today, Angela, about something that happened to me 20 years ago or so. And as a bonus, I'm going to give a bit of road safety information. There's no extra charge for this, but you'll learn something useful about road safety. So this is about something that happened on driving. Now, I should just reassure everybody, this is not a road trauma horror story. A car accident does happen in the story, but it's just a minor accident. And also, what's really interesting is what I did afterwards. So,
exciting.
Here's the situation. I'm driving in my car. I've got my 4 kids in the car, and I forget what it was, but I'm in a hurry to get somewhere. I'm obeying all the road rules, but I'm just going as fast as I can within the speed limit. And it's raining, just like today. It's raining a lot. And here's the bit of road safety information for you. This is the bonus bit of information. When you've had a long dry spell and then it rains, the dry spell, a lot of rubbish builds up on the road surface. You get grease and muck and so on builds up there. And then that first rainfall afterwards loosens all that up, means the roads are really slippery. It's almost like ice skating. So first bit of rain after a dry spell, the roads are really slippery, which is what I learned when we're driving along and I saw far ahead a car put its brake lights on. So I put my brake on and my car just started to slide forwards. And so I was jamming my foot. I had my foot jammed on the brake and my car just glided in and banged into the car in front of me. As I said, it was a minor accident. Nobody was hurt, but there was some damage to cars and there was all that stuff about exchanging information, insurance, the tow truck came and blah, 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 all that stuff. So all that was done, and eventually got the kids home and I got myself home. And after all that, well, of course, I was pretty upset and jangled. Oh, God, and a nuisance. I'm going to have to get the car repaired. Insurance would cover it, but so on. But I was quite disturbed. So I thought, now here's what I think is the interesting bit of the story, is that let me just lie down and check out what's going on here. Because after I dealt with everything, all was done, so I had some spare time. And I knew that I was disturbed and something would be going on. So I thought, well, let me check out what's going on. So I lay down and just got quietly settled and did a sort of Feldenkrais sort of thing, a body scan and so on. So, and I could, well, first I could just feel in general I was upset and jangled. But then I sort of settled into a bit more just to say, okay, well, now that's all over. I can just take a few moments to take care of myself and observe myself. And I began to do a bit of a body scan, as we do in Feldenkrais, and sense what was going on. And what I noticed was a line of tension from my right foot through my leg, through my body, up to my head. Like, this is me jamming the foot on the brake. And I had my right foot jammed on the brake for all that time as my car skidded. And so this is what happens in, when there's some traumatic event. There's a body memory. So I had this body memory, and it translated as a line of tension all along from my right foot, all along the right side to my head. So that was, I'd done step one, a really important thing, paying attention, being aware. So then I just sort of worked with it a bit. I did, I sort of lay down and just sort of did, okay, let me push with my foot. So go with what my body was wanting to do, push. So push and then release, push and release. And then I started to play around with it in different sort of Feldenkrais ways. And after a while, it began to ease, that I could sort of recognize that that's what I needed to do then. But now I was safe. I could let go. And I began to just push and move. Then I tried push and release with the left foot, and push one foot, then the other foot, then do some other movements. And, after 5 or 10 minutes of this, I was feeling much better. So
that's a great story, and really highlights the importance of checking in with yourself after a trauma event.
Yes. Yep. So I think this happens all the time. Life is full of minor accidents and major accidents and different things that happen and so on. So, and most of the time, and I guess most of the time before I knew about Feldenkrais, you would have just had this traumatic event and then just continued on. And what would have happened for me would have been lingering on tension all along that line without me really realizing. And I guess it would eventually fade away by itself, but I think not completely. I would guess that that would linger on, would be added to my body history of all the events that have happened. This is, as we go through our lives, we are accumulating a body history, and we start to accumulate a habitual posture and shape, which is a response to all the things that have happened to us and that we've done, and our accumulated responses to that, locked in responses. And I guess what I'm saying in my Move Your Mood presentation, and with the lesson afterwards, is that we want to, as much as we can, clear those locked in responses. We want to aim to be neutral, so that then when a new event happens, that we respond in a neutral way, rather than having our body already fixed in set postures, which means we just continue to respond in a particular way over and over again, reinforcing our habitual postures. So that was a nice way that I was able to, in a way, heal myself and restore mobility, rather than having a lingering tension locked in, and return more to a neutral state. But still, I could still remember what happened and learn from what happened. What I've learned is that first bit of rain after a long dry spell, drive more slowly. I was driving within the speed limit, but really drive a lot more slowly. So there you are, everybody. There's a bit of road safety advice for you.
And leave space between cars.
Leave a bigger space than you would expect to. So we accumulate habits of behavior. I wanted to show you my jeans. Just hold on a moment.
Okay.
Here are my pants. And look,
all right.
Here is there's a hole.
What did you do? Have you been climbing?
Well, what did I do? Yes, the right knee has a hole. And if you look at all of my trousers, they have wearing on the right knee. And in fact, several of them have got holes in them. And I found a tailor nearby and went to get I said, can you patch this up for me? And he said, yes, okay. And he said, what are you doing? Why do you have a hole in your pants on the right knee? In fact, both knees tend to wear, but the right knee is particularly worn. And I sort of said, well, I get down on my knees often. And he sort of looked at me a bit strangely, wondering what sort of person I was. And I was actually thinking about it too, but I know that when I'm doing my one-to-one work, my functional integration one-to-one work in Feldenkrais, sometimes I'm standing up and working on people, but sometimes I'm sitting on my nice Feldenkrais stool.
Yeah.
But often I just, for those of you who haven't had a Feldenkrais one-to-one session, we work on a low table, a table that's about...
Mine is just here. You probably can't see it, but
yeah,
mine's just here.
Yeah, okay. So it's like a massage table, but it's wider and longer and lower down. So that means that I could actually quite easily kneel down to work on people. And often I do that. I'm working on someone and I sit down and as I move around the table, often I'll kneel down and often I'll kneel down on my right knee. And I was actually at a social event a few weeks ago, and people were mingling in the living room, and because I was thinking about, the tailor asked me, why do you have your worn out right knee?
Yeah.
And I was chatting to someone and I stopped and realized I'm kneeling down. So this woman I was talking, she was sitting on a couch and I was standing up, so I could have sort of bent down to talk to her, or I could have sat on the couch next to her. But actually, I just, without even thinking about it, I got down on my bending on my right knee and standing on the left foot, standing on the right knee, and I realized I must do this all the time. So that's
it tells because it's on your genes.
Yes. So it's funny, we build up patterns in our body and you can see these wrinkles here I've got on my forehead. These are like habitual actions and postures we do. And I think I'm actually quite glad that I've got that wearing on my right knee. It shows that I actually do movements. So I think it's a good thing actually that I kneel down to do things, because it means I'm quite mobile and limber. And it's a good working position when you're doing FI. So, so that's an example of our habitual behaviours. And that's what I want to say, that habits and habitual behaviours are not necessarily bad in themselves. It's not a bad thing that I've got these wrinkles here, just my habitual expression. But what's bad is if you're stuck in those habits and you cannot shift out of them. And that's what we play with in Feldenkrais, is say, how can we be able to have our habits, because they're helpful to us, because we can just do things without having to think too much, but also not be stuck in those habits, so we can be flexible. And I'm able to have my wrinkles there, but I can have lots of different expressions rather than some people can see their face, they're locked in, have the same expression all the time. I do a class sometimes called natural facelift, which I have people do a whole lot of exercises with their face. And that's, again, just this thing of being able to have your habits, but also be able to move in different ways as well.
Exactly. Fascinating. Always interesting to talk to you, Ralph.
Well, thank you.
And I want to share a little secret about the Humanise Yourself Festival. Ralph
Yes.
was the one that came up with the idea of our theme, the theme
That's right.
being reach your potential. And I was like, oh, absolutely. I love that, because a lot of practitioners, when we talk, that's what we first ask our clients, isn't it? What do you want to do?
Yes.
What
Yeah.
direction do you want to go in? What's your
Mm,
goals? What's your
mm.
desires? And we less focus on the pain, but more on the pleasure of where you can go.
Yes.
Obviously, the
Yeah.
client that comes in that is in pain, they're focused on the pain, they want that pain to go away, but then our questioning is around, well, what do you want to be able to do? Isn't that right, Ralph?
That's right. And yeah, thank you for reminding me of that. Because that's what interests me about our work, is that how can people live their life to the full? Yes, initially people come because they've got a back pain, they've got a neck pain or something. They want help with that, so we can help them with that. But then it's even more interesting to the next stage is, well, now how can you use this work to live your life, live the life you want to be? And it's my contention, I think you'd agree, that as we get better able to move and be flexible and adaptable and resourceful in all the ways to move, this means that we're resourceful and adaptable in living our lives and responding to all that we're doing.
Exactly. For me, though, I didn't come to the method in pain. I came because I wanted to improve my performance in my dance. So I was wanting to reach potential, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was much the same. I didn't have a particular injury or pain, but I was just this idea of always I was looking for, how can I do better in life?
Yeah.
By the way, I wanted to mention, I'm looking forward to the talk by Irene Lyon. And
Yes.
I think because, as I was mentioning, going back to my car accident, and that was sort of an experience of trauma and dealing with that trauma. And I believe that she's the one who's done a lot of marvelous work in this field. And so I think, I'm not quite sure what she's. Well, can you tell me what's she talking about in the session?
Oh, well, there's a few things, but one being the question of the polyvagal theory and then reaching your potential. But you can have a sneak peek at her interview, Ralph.
Oh, right. Oh, we can do that. Yes, because we can access the. Oh, okay. Perhaps I will.
The presenters do have a sneak peek at each other's presentation. So,
Oh, that's
but
good.
if you're interested in what we're talking about, the Humanise Yourself, Unleash Your Potential online movement festival is on in 2 days, 2 sleeps away. I'm so excited. Irene is the first up on the stage for the event. And
Now, can I check? Because so Irene, her session is on at 6 a.m. my time, and I'll try to get up early to do that. But if I miss it, there's the replays available for a while. Is that right?
Yes. The replay is available for 48 hours
48
after.
hours. Yep.
And they are actually uploaded already onto the community podcast. So the festival happens inside our ongoing community, Movement Online Academy. And part of the community access is to a private podcast feed. And I've uploaded all the presentations on there already. So I just afterwards just have to go click, unlock it, so you can listen on the podcast or in the community, which is really good.
That's good to know. That's good to know. And of course, if
you want unlimited access, Ralph.
Yeah. Yes. Tell me, how do I get unlimited access? So I get. Okay. So there's 48 hours access for everyone who signs up, but if I get the VIP bundle unlimited, that's amazing.
Oh, but that's not all, Ralph. There's synchronized with that. There's we have a 2-week movement camp a couple of weeks after the festival where all of the presenters are going to share more lessons. So there's another 20 lessons you'll get access to live and the replays for life. But that's not all, Ralph. What else is there?
Now, well, we have all the presenters have got a bonus packages, haven't they? Or bonus things. I've got
most of them, not everyone, but there is a huge bonus bundle of classes and workshops and that you can access as well. And we're looking forward to next March. This March we did March Movement Madness. So we're going to do another similar Movement Madness in March with lots of different masterclasses. And as VIPs, you can say, hey, are we going to explore this topic? So we'll endeavour to try and support that topic to come up for the masterclass series in March. So we've got time to plan ahead for that.
Oh, so it'll be interesting to hear what everyone has to say about what they'd like to do. So we get a chance to have people influence what we present. I'd like to do that, to be able to hear what people want and create lessons.
I know there has already been people asking, well, how do we even get to the floor? So it could be a series we explore. And also walking as well has been asked for in the past. So they're two nice topics to explore already on the cards, but we'll see what the VIPs want. We like to love up our VIPs, don't we, Ralph?
Indeed, yes. Yeah. It's good.
So tell us, I will drop your affiliate link into the chat now for those wanting to sign up under Ralph. So that means if you do purchase the VIP package, Ralph is going to get a little bit of a kickback for
thank you
sharing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you have any last words, Ralph? It's been a great conversation.
Thank you so much for making this all possible, Angela. You've been doing a marvellous job. And this is great that you bring all these people together and make this available to people all around the world. So I'm looking forward to Humanise Yourself, Unleash Your Potential Festival starting in a couple of days.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to being on the floor and experiencing everyone's lessons because, yes, I'm at the computer. I've just realised for 10 hours a day.
Wow.
But for 5 of those hours, I'm doing a movement lesson. So that's why it's going to be possible. So
that will carry you through. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Angela. Thank you.
Thanks, Ralph.